Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Today is going to be an amazing show. Look who my guest is, everybody. It's Chris Parente, Channel 2 Daybreak, my co-host from Colorado's Everyday Show, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Hello.
That's so sweet of you to say, Miss Kathie J. I got to say out of the gate, my first time on your podcast, I didn't realize you got to stand up, show people you're sitting in like the John Goodman recliner from Roseanne. This is the biggest lazy boy leather-bound recliner.
I love you. I love you. Is it a big lazy boy or have I gotten smaller? Has the room gotten bigger?
You have. You look good.
I have gotten smaller. Thank you very much, Parente.
Yeah.
You still dress amazing. But yes, I've gotten smaller since the last time we were on the screen together.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking one time years ago when we hosted the show, they reviewed our show, somebody in a magazine, and they loved it. And they said, our show was called The Everyday Show. They said, Kathie and Chris are like the Laurel and Hardy of local TV. And we were so pumped until we looked up what those guys looked like. And like Hardy's 500 pounds.
And Laurel is a stick. And we had to admit that it was real, that we were the perfect 10. You were the one and I was the 0.
Look who's laughing now, though. Now you're the skinny one and I'm the, oh my God, look. Married life.
That is exactly right. So since we've last hung out and worked together, you got married to Luis. Like, congratulations.
I know I did. Remember, I was dating when we were doing the show. And you were so tired of me. I was, you know, the people, when people first fall in love, they get the puppy, everything's heaven, and they're all they can do is talk about it.
You guys were reading books together and waiting to read a chapter together on FaceTime. It was sickening.
Right. We were even also having sex and reading books at the same time, which was really, I thought.
I'm so glad you didn't share that with me before.
Anyway, yes. You know what, though? Here's the thing. You got to be patient with your friends who are in that puppy dog, because eventually that either doesn't work out or it evolves to the next level, which ours evolved to the next level. And in fact, now we're going to be celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations.
How long have you been married? How many years, Kathie?
I don't know. I hate you.
You don't know?
13, 14 years, somewhere like that. I was going to say 13, 14 years. We've been dating around 15. I mean, my kid's 11. So we hung out for 2 years before we had her. And then, we got to ask my husband.
You're real romantic, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. That's real sweet.
Let's just say I've been with the same dude for 14 years.
Well, I was going to ask, because I'm only 5 years in. When does the sex dry up completely?
Oh no, it's revamp. There's all these different stages. Remember when I used to be on the show with you? Literally, there was times I told you that we high-fived before our heads hit the pillow. Like, that was the communication my husband and I had.
Yeah.
Now we at least say hi and we high-five and our heads hit the pillow.
Good. You do realize that's not having sex. High-fiving is not
high-five. We touch. There's a bond that happens.
That's true.
Skin touches, warmth.
Wow, can't wait for your 14.
Can't wait. Stop. So I have questions about you working on the morning show.
Well, welcome to my home. I'm an open book.
Right.
Anything you want to know.
All right, so you're on Channel 2 Daybreak, and you do the morning show.
Yeah, when our show ended, which was a sad day for me and a sad day, I think, for Denver. Yeah. I then got switched over, promoted to the morning anchor, and that's where I've been ever since.
Okay. And what are your hours? Like, what time you get up? What time you get there? It's a nightmare.
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned this. I get up around 2:30
a.m.
But I'm done by around 10 or 11. The rest of the day is mine. And I raise this point. All of your faithful, loyal, loving people still write me every day. I love Kathie. Why doesn't Kathie come back? People love you. They adore you. Yeah. I'm going to implore every person listening or watching right now. I happen to have an open co-anchor position at my job right now.
You do.
And if anyone out there would like to, write in, petition, demand that Kathie J get the job or at least be brought in, you can email tips@kwgn.com. That's tips at kwgn.com. Let them know you'd like to see Kathie back on TV.
I could do that. I would love to wake up at 2:30 in the morning. That sounds heavenly.
You got nothing. Your kids are grown now. Your husband's an old man. You got nothing to do with your life. Get up a little earlier.
They are 11 and 9. Well, she's about to be 9.
They're halfway to college.
Halfway there. So,
You know what? Look,
let's talk about this out loud really fast because that's one of my things. So I had talked to you about, like, could I do the news? Because you and I mean, you're a great driver. You could teach anybody how to read the news. You're good. I just don't think to be that serious, Chris, you have to read some very serious stories hour after hour for 5 hours a morning. That really does a lot to your
soul. But you know what? I'm going to say it. I think what Denver TV needs, it's what I try to bring, and it's what Channel 2 tries to bring. I think you'd be great at it. Local. If you want to wake up and get the news headlines, you got your phone for that. You got Twitter for that. You've got 1,000 apps that can give you the basics, right? What you can't get anywhere else is a place that appreciates and values humor, levity, joy, laughter, friendship.
Yeah.
Yes. Bringing the news, but bringing the news in a way you cannot get anyplace else. I think it'd be perfect. Why don't you right now audition quickly? Try to read like you would, like, you know, a Barbara Walters, a Connie Chung. Give us a little audition of your serious side.
The blah 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 blah. You know, I can't. Like, I can't read a teleprompter. We've been through this before. I need bullet points, and we fly. Like, you know, the teleprompter. Okay, let's see what's happening in the news right now. Tell me something that happened this morning. You read it for 5 hours.
Well, you talk about. There's a lot of downer stuff today. All right, how about this? No, I don't want to depress. How about this? Hurricane. Milton is barreling toward the Gulf Coast of Florida. Go.
Hurricane Milton barreling towards the Gulf Coast of Florida right now. Passengers are holding
passengers.
See?
Florida's not an airplane. Florida's a state.
You better get in a boat and be a passenger and get out of there because that
arms and hands inside the state. Coming. No. Now listen. And again, I want to implore.
Can you do the serious stories and I just do the fun?
No. I think actually people would appreciate getting the news, even the news that's not the best, from someone that makes them feel better. Do you know? And I want to implore your fans and your viewers again. That's tips. Tips.
You're so
at kwgn.com. Let them know how much you love Kathie. I think honestly. I think you would do great. I think you've been doing it for a long time anyway. People want the news, yes, but they want more than that. Otherwise, they can just go to their phone.
I agree with you, and I think that's why the Today Show, that's why they do so well, because those personalities, to find a personality.
Now you're Hoda? Now you're up there with her? Now you're Jenna Hager-Bush, whatever her name is?
No, definitely not. Those ladies, they have their own talents, you dork. I'm just saying, you know, that I just feel that there is a way to deliver the news refreshingly, where it's not making you feel like you're going to like have to kill yourself or poke your eyes out to hear it one more time.
Well, it's more than that. I think what people loved about you, what they love about you on the radio, what they love about you when you're on TV is you're genuine. You're very funny. That's helpful, but you're genuine.
Yeah.
Like the days of the Ken and Barbie doll on TV, I don't want to wake up with that. And so we don't have that on our show. I hope people will wake up with us on Channel 2 and they'll see and they'll say, oh my God, Kathie'd be perfect on this show.
Okay. Yeah. Email tips. I get it. But you know, you also are
tips at kwgn.com.
By the way, you work with Ken Clark, who I know very well.
Right.
Like, I do love your whole team. I love your directors. I love everybody that works over there. So,
well, here's funny. Ken Clark is another example. And if your viewers, your listeners may not notice, Kathie J and Ken Clark went to college together.
Yes,
down there at Fort Lewis College, way down there in BF Durango. and you guys studied improv those years ago.
Yes, and
that's what I think we need in the morning scene. Here's the other thing. Nobody else is doing it. You've got 10 other choices of morning shows that are pretty straightforward. It's ABC. And away you go. Forgettable. Our show tries to be something different. And again, tips at kwgn.com. Here's the thing. At my age, it's not a joke. I was just thinking, I'm up every hour taking a leak. Like, I've reached that age. What does it matter if I go to work at 2:30? I'm already going to the bathroom. You are
absolutely right. But here's the thing. I have to put makeup on. You know, that drove me crazy when we had our TV show. I was pregnant. I was 9 months pregnant with you, still putting on that horror makeup.
It is, honestly, it is harder for women than for men because there's more that goes into it. But you know what? Just 10 extra minutes. No, but you're a naturally beautiful woman. No problem.
And you know what I hate about you, speaking of the outfits? You always look so good. And working with you, I realized you just have a lot of key pieces that you've been able to mix together, which makes you have a lot of different outfits, but they're all fabulous in all these different ways. And I'd like the chance, if anything, definitely to get on TV with you again and see if I could compete. Because before I wore the same outfit so much that our viewers would say, my mom and I were taking bets to see if you'd have your jean shirt on again today.
I like the jeans shirt. The jeans. You had the Lucy dress. The polka dot Lucy dress was one of my favorites.
Right.
And
but
you had that.
When you're
Oh my
a big
God.
girl,
You're wearing it now. The maroon thing you always wore. The maroon top. Is that the same one? Yes.
No, but when I put it on, I actually thought, wow, I think I took a press photo with him in his shirt
You did.
this. Oh,
You
the
did.
good old days. Okay, so let's talk about the improv stuff in our show, because that's what I wanted to really move on to and talk about, because it's Halloween time, and you and I, by far, had the best Halloween shows that Denver's ever seen. Like, we did it. From Willy Wonka to the Revenge show, we just had the best, funniest shows.
Here's they are, if you go on, I know Kathie's got some videos she can show it. If you go on YouTube, you can find some of the clips. Halloween is an example of I love it. It's fun. You love it. It's fun. We can cut loose. But the funny thing is we would do great shows, themed shows. I remember one time, wasn't I Matt Damon and you were the planet Mars?
You're the astronaut, or that one. It's because I was pregnant.
And I was orbiting you. But what's funny is, and Kathie will back me up, because I'm the first to admit I'm Italian and I'm kind of a grumpy, and I can be can I cuss on this or no? Am I allowed to cuss?
Try not to, but yeah.
Okay. I can be a jerk sometimes. And on these Halloween shows, they were always so much fun, and I was always in the worst mood. And I remember one time you were dressed as I was Joan Crawford and you were Betty Davis, and you looked at me like, why are you in such a bad mood? You're dressed as Betty Davis.
You're stressed out. Crawford. Yeah, you are.
Remember?
You are in that wheelchair, like you were.
I know. I was.
Crawford. And then I think that's why I went overboard when I had to do the troll for the Thor movie, because I was trying to get you in such a good mood because you were dressed as that Kate Blanchett
oh my God,
Helena thing, and you were so upset, and I was like,
one time you were Ursula and I was King Triton.
That was classic.
I think probably we went as like enemies once. All the costumes were enemies. And you went as you were Tanya Harding.
And you were Nancy Kerrigan.
And I was Nancy Kerrigan.
It was amazing.
And you had the cigarette and the whole nine. Where else on TV you gonna get that?
Where else you get that? You let me be the golden goose that laid golden eggs, and I came out with a cigar.
The Willy Wonka. Oh my God. You were also Violet Beauregard, weren't you?
I blew up like a blueberry. We did so many funny things, and you shrunk yourself and went into a purse. Like, we had so much fun with our staff and stuff.
Our shows honestly, were epic. What I liked about working with you and the old Everyday show, which is now gone, but we could recapture the magic were you to come on Channel 2 mornings, is that we were the one place in town and radio still does this. Radio does a good job of it, that allows people to be creative and to go for it and to push the envelope and do stuff that isn't just, frankly, we weren't boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. TV can be very boring. Everyone has to live in the box. You guys have to read what's on that teleprompter. Right. You're very timed. You have people in the back room making sure you hit your commercials. Like, you have to stay right here. And it is very frustrating. And I enjoyed how much you just let me go. You would just throw, and you get like this twinkle in your eye and look at me and be like, and I'd be like, here we go. Let's do it, Chris.
No. I know it was a blast. It really was.
From the to the guests to the money couple, we just had a lot of fun with our people.
Yeah, and people still talk about the show.
Yeah,
that's a compliment to your talents.
I didn't know that I was your longest running co-host until the day that we closed the show. That's when someone was like, Chris was the longest, and you were the second longest running. I was like, oh, well, I wish somebody would have told me I meant something to you.
Of course you do. And in fact, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but I currently don't have a co-host permanent on my morning show on Channel 2. And if your viewers would like to suggest that you make a triumphant return,
I have
that's
more.
tips at kwgn.com.
I just want to say, I do have to say something honest to you. Speaking of that last show, when I came back for the Colorado Everyday show, I threw a cake in your face, and I was very angry for some reason at you that day. And I think it was just because I was mad I didn't have a job with you anymore. I don't know, but I just want to apologize.
Did you throw a cake in my face?
The very last show.
Oh, the day I was signing off, the emotional last day?
Yeah, the emotional last day. I just want you to know it sticks with me as something I shouldn't have done, and I'm sorry.
Probably not, but I remember the time we were out at Waterworld and we dropped a cake.
Dropped a whole cake.
In the swimming pool, and tell them what happened.
We dropped it in the big lagoon, everybody, where the waves are.
And it was a big cake.
It was a huge sheet cake.
It was their anniversary or birthday or something.
Yes, right. That cake disappeared within seconds.
Gone.
The filter that they have in that Waterworld water.
Industrial strength.
Don't lose anything in that pool.
No.
Because I tried to pick it up to save whatever chunks of the cake.
Gone.
Like,
you know what? Like, if you sit on that thing the wrong way, if you sit on it, your intestines are out. And that's like,
it's a movie.
Avoid the suction.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
And it's right there where a lot of moms will sit, like those big cracks in the.
Yes.
Like,
Don't sit on the crack. You'll live to regret it. Yeah. But it did make me feel good because, let's be honest, kids are going to poop in the pool. That poop is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I don't need any duty coming up on me while I'm swimming.
They have a very strong filter system. God love you, Waterworld.
Yeah, thank you, Waterworld.
Thank you, Waterworld.
But I had so much fun working with you when we did everything. What will you be dressing as Halloween this year? You are very creative.
You know what? I mean, we don't do big Halloween shows anymore.
No.
Because the Everyday show was on a little later in the morning. We could be a little looser. The morning news, I can't be reading the news when I'm dressed as Tanya Harding or Nancy Kerrigan. But if I could do who is that? I'm fascinated by her. That break dancing woman from Australia.
You would be so good as that lady.
Ray Gunn.
Her
name's Ray Gunn. Remember, and she was so outrageous.
Yes.
I kind of thought about going as Ray Gunn this year.
Right.
I know.
Well, do you do couple costumes with?
Well, I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't currently have a partner on my show. So if I had one, tips at kwgn.com. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What's going to be the big thing this year?
If you showed up, just so you know, if we were doing the news together and you showed up as Ray Gunn, I would have to show up as one of the judges and just hold the number 0 at you. I would just have to be like this.
Or how about you could be that bearded drag queen that was at the open? Remember they got all mad at the beard?
Oh, yeah. Let's bring that kind of controversy to our show when I first start. Let's do that.
Oh, that'd be great. Or you could be like the headless Maria. There were 1,000 options at opening ceremony.
And we'll go to edit through every single one if you want. But yeah, no, I love working with you. I love being with you. And I'm glad that our friendship has stayed through the years.
Well, it's ebbed and flowed.
It was up and down, but I'm
like our marriages. They've ebbed and
flowed. Right.
One more. Years. I don't know. I don't know how politically correct we've got to be, but when we started doing the show, it was before political correctness really, and before we were learning, were learning what was acceptable. And one year we went as before and after. Do you remember that?
Amazing. That's what we won the Emmy for, didn't we? Didn't we submit some?
I went as. Can I say this, or is it going to be trouble?
You know what? I think you can say it because we did it with love.
We did it with love, and it was probably honestly 15 years ago.
So we had let's start with some other characters before we go to the one that you're about to mention. Renee Zellweger. Remember, there was Renee Zellweger because she looked.
Oh, that's good. We went as Renee pre and post surgery. Right. That's pretty cruel.
She really looked different after her surgery. But it did work that I was the heavier version of you because there were so many before and afters you could do.
We're terrible people. We made fun of Renee. Apologies, Ms. Zellweger.
But then we did. You were Bruce Jenner and I was Caitlyn Jenner. No,
but here's the thing.
You were Bruce Jenner and Caitlyn.
This was before we understood what she was going through. Okay. It was the very beginning. So it was still Bruce, but he was doing the long hair and looking different. And so I was Olympic Bruce and you were current Bruce.
Right. That's what it was.
And with no offense to what's happened since, because we've since learned.
That's right. So we didn't go as Caitlin. It was just, you're right. Cause I pulled my hair underneath the blue shirt and took my makeup off. That's right. That's right. See, we were fine.
If you guys can find that clip on YouTube, find it and get us fired.
And watch it first. And then let us know if we need to pay you for it.
And burn all copies, please. Jeez Louise.
It wasn't that bad. We would never cross the line. But I was coming off of the morning show with Larry and Kendall. So there were times that I was just like exhausted and also who knows what was coming out of my mouth.
It was hard. But that's something I like about I've liked too is if you're not willing to be totally honest and go for it, and sometimes you go too far and sometimes you mess up and then there's no point in trying to play it safe.
Yeah, you're right.
Anybody can play. And so there were times you on your radio and on TV that we pushed the envelope, maybe went a little too far. And when we did, we apologized for it. But don't you like not knowing what you're going to see and what these people are going to do?
Yes. Also, it's what people are thinking. Obviously, we thought it. Other people are thinking it too. And that's what I always loved about it when we'd be on the same page. Like,
you're hilarious. You know what? Other people just think about being bigots, but we come right out and do it.
We will do it for you. We will say what you were thinking.
No, but honestly, I should say, and I'll speak just Kathie's actually one of the most accepting, open-minded. She is. So it was just out of humor.
I love you.
It's
true. Both of us. We come from a loving place always. Speaking of.
Older I get, though, I got to be honest. I'm turning into my father.
I can't believe it.
God bless your father and my father have both crossed over, but you realize I don't want to call it their revenge, but the older you get, you become your parents.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Your dad was really cool.
Yes, he was, but
so I don't know where you're going because you're not going to Cool Land because your dad was cool. You're just going to grumpy old guy land. Like
I was actually thinking because my dad didn't really know technology. The grumpy part, and my dad never knew technology. When I was trying to zoom into this damn thing, I literally like, holy crap on my dad because now which? No, I don't know. That doesn't.
John, over there. Hit that
button. Now you're too big.
No, John.
You're too big.
No, John. It's okay, John.
It happens.
Good. Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of cool because it's a way I don't know if you find yourself doing things that remind you of your dad, but it's a way they stay with us because they actually do live on 100%, not just in spirit, but through us.
It's is crazy. Wild. If you did your job right, your kids have good parts of you and they are that person every day. And like yesterday, I drove a pickup and drank a beer.
That's
my dad.
Back when he crossed over, we saluted him with, what was his favorite beer?
Bud Light.
Bud Light. We cracked open a 12-pack there on set. I remember that.
You let me do that. And I almost finished the whole thing, but I could hear the panic in your voice as I was about to slam the rest of the beer. And you were like, Kathie, life.
Yeah.
Kathie.
Wasn't a whole lot left of the beer.
Wasn't a lot left. No. But Chris Parente, what future plans do you have? I mean, you and Luis going to be traveling? I know you love to travel. Before I let you go, what's your future look like?
This is the Oprah question you asked me. Do you have any? You know what? Oprah would have made me. Barbara Walters would have made me cry or give. You asked me any vacations coming up.
Is that what you want? Here we go.
No, I don't want that.
No, it's too late. I'm going to give it to you.
Don't give me the hair.
You want this? You're going to get it. I
don't want it.
You sit there, Chris. You ready? We've been talking today with Chris Parente, who is a great dude, and he was a coworker of mine. And the guy is thoughtful. He always wants to help people. He finds a joke in a way to lighten the mood. He's the guy that you can count on to make sure that the job gets done. He's the guy that encourages you to be your best because he wants your best because it makes him his best. He's the guy that will find the humor and just always encourage you to I mean, the way you made me do things that I never would have done. So Parente, you win. You are amazing. You are fun to be with. You're a great
Aw.
co-host and a
Aw.
great driver. You encourage people. Everything you do is awesome. And I'm so glad that you found a love like Luis because you deserve
Well,
him.
you know what? I'll just say that um, if anybody out there hasn't found love, first of all, that's fine. Different, everyone's on their own path. You don't have to even get married, or there's different ways, right? But it took me a long time of messing up over and over again. So, I was in my mid to late 40s before I even met this guy. And of course, he was in high school at the time. This is not true. I'm kidding. He's younger than I am, though.
Right, but he's not high school age.
No. But my point is
Right.
that you just never know. If you just try to be willing to grow and love and open yourself up, it'll come or it won't, but it's never too late. Never too late. And I think honestly, if I love Denver, I've been here 20 years, but eventually, depending on whether, who my next co-host is and if I like them or how things go, I might stay a while. Or, what's next for me is I want to retire and get a house in Italy because, my family's from Italy.
Yep.
And go half the year here, half the year in Italy.
Amazing. You used to travel so much and you encouraged me to travel. I went to Romania this past year in June. And so I thought of you the whole time, just
Romania.
Dracula.
You went, Nosferatu. What are you going on?
You know me.
Wait, what did you do in Romania?
Why are you coming in on the screen like an old man?
I told you I'm my dad. What are you doing in Romania? Why not Hawaii? What's wrong with Hawaii?
Sit back.
Are you serious? You went to Romania?
Okay, the people from the Global Down Syndrome Foundation, Anka, she's from Romania.
I know Anka.
She had her big birthday party, so I went out there for the big birthday party.
You got a personal tour from somebody who's from there.
Yes, so
Wonderful.
That's worth it. Yes.
Next we tour the butcher factory. Next we tour the automobile plant. It's Romania. Very exciting place.
I loved it. You better stop. I had a great
kidding.
time.
I actually, one of my best friends is from that area. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
But I love you. So I want you to also get that house in Italy because I want to come visit.
Anytime.
Okay.
Leave, but you cannot bring the children. I'm sorry.
I promise. That's fine with me.
No, or the husband.
I was hoping you'd say that. I didn't go to Romania with the husband. I totally went with Larry's husband. I went with Chris.
Who you dated once.
My high school sweetheart. And everyone was uncomfortable with that, except for Chris and I, and our husbands. Our husbands were like, please go.
Right. They don't care either.
They don't
We don't judge. It's modern family, whatever it is.
Whatever. Chris Parente from Daybreak. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, anytime. I love that you're on the radio. I love that you're on a time now that I can listen in the afternoons. You are in the afternoons, right?
Yes, 2 to 6 p.m.
Good. I listen every day in the afternoons. And most of all, I'm kidding. Most of all, I do want to say from the heart, tips at awgn.com. It couldn't hurt. And in fact, you know what? If people don't want to write and say, hey, we want to see Kathie on TV, they could just write and say how much they enjoyed you when,
That's true. Just write and say we had a good time.
Kathie will back me up and then I'll shut the hell up.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how often people will write in if they've got a gripe or a complaint, that's fine. But you'd be surprised how much it means when people get an email that has a kind word, like people that have gone out of their way to say, it means a lot.
To know that you took the time to actually say thank you for making me happy today is so nice. It makes us feel so great on the other end of it.
Yeah, it's deeply appreciated. So I would love for people to write in and sing your praises for sure.
Thank you. Well, sing your praises too. I love you, and we were a great team. I loved working with you.
Well,
you never know. You could come to Radio Land. You're just as good on radio.
Do I get to sit in a big ass John Goodman lazy boy like that?
Yes, you
That is the biggest chair. My God, does it have a holder for your cup? Does it?
Yes. No, it doesn't.
Does it have the recline with the?
Look, just because you have pencil thin chairs that have to stick you up straight so you can tell everybody with the news doesn't mean that I just can't chill. It's about the voice. You're about the looks.
You're right. I'm jealous is what I am.
I know you are. So comfy. Well, I love you, Parente. Tell Luis hello until we talk again.
I will. I'll see you on Channel 2 in the morning. Maybe every morning. Who knows down the line?
Who knows? Who knows what this world is? I love you,
Kathie. Thank you for taking time. I love you.
Bye.
Mwah!